And let's go rip the fuck out of these disgusting posters.
Hello ladies and genitals, today we're going to be taking a look at another Elphaba drama. Basically, she has a man coming after her. Interesting. So there's a guy called Only Tony who wants to make it a safer place. Now Tony, he doesn't like Elphaba or Elphaba's actions, and well, rightfully so. I make many videos on this wannabe celebrity because that's all Elphaba is really. But these videos often talk about many controversies, and they're the things that we highlight. Now Tony here, he's gone beyond commentary videos. Now Tony is actually travelling the country, putting flyers and posters up in places about Elphaba awareness, which is interesting. Some might say a little bit too far, but I believe the journey for him started here. So I can't really play this video out loud because it's got copyrighted music in it, but he's essentially filming himself fill up his car with diesel, which is dangerous, by the way. Don't film yourself doing that. But basically he spoke about Elphaba to some degree. He mentioned the talking to young people allegations, which always seems to get Elphaba's attention more than anything else. Because when someone says that Elphaba speaks to young people, she doesn't really like it. She basically says, "Grr, I'm not a pedro." Well, if you don't like it, then maybe don't do things where people could, you know, point fingers and say, hang on, that's a bit dodgy. Some would say, no smoke without fire. But this wasn't where Tony left things off. Tony here used the diesel that he filled up into his car in an attempt to put an end to Elphaba. Why does this feel like some sort of like vigilante? It's like TikTokers have entered the Marvel universe. Honey, where are you going? Oh, I'm off out to put an end to Elphaba on TikTok Live. But Tony then decided to print out some posters of Elphaba containing some quite serious allegations and stick them around the UK. From what I can see, it's mainly at things like petrol stations, service stations, and nightclubs, and some shops as well. As you can see here, the poster contains a picture of Elphaba and her name. Also this Jack guy, I've not really heard of him, to be honest. But essentially the poster reads, Elphaba posts triggering content such as faking disabilities such as autism, Tourette's, and seizures for financial gain. Now obviously this is genuinely disgusting, and I mean, well, it's not really untrue, is it? I've spoken about this many times across many different videos, and I genuinely find it disgusting that she continues to make some sort of profit after doing things like this to make more money. She has literally made a career off faking disabilities that people actually have to deal with in their day-to-day lives. Delightful, I know. But let's be real here, the issue, it lies with TikTok. They're the ones that can remove her from our screens. And personally, I don't think a company that's valued around $80 billion is really going to care about some posters around the UK. Because let's be honest, the local councils, they're probably gonna take them down anyway. And I'm not defending Elphaba, by the way, I'd never do that. I just like to be quite real in these videos. I'm all for calling out Elphaba for the stupid shit that she does, the stuff that deserves consequences. I just don't really see what these posters are going to achieve. Like, I get all awareness is good awareness, you know, thumbs up for awareness. You know, the more people that are aware that they should avoid Elphaba, the better. But I just don't think this sort of thing is going to get her kicked off TikTok. But I must stress, I'm not defending Elphaba. I can already see the comments now.
Ooh, you like Elphaba.
Why make video about want her off TikTok then defend her? I'm not doing that. I'm just merely stating that a grown man driving around the country sticking up posters of a 19-year-old, it's not really going to do anything. And Tony, if this is me being unfamiliar with your game, by all means, prove me wrong. I will happily let you cook. Because I do agree, Elphaba is a danger. And if the things that she is accused of on the daily are true, then obviously she should not be walking these streets. I just think the only thing that authorities will do in this country is just take the posters down. But anyway, let's read the rest of the poster, shall we? It has also been brought to our attention that although no charges have been brought against her, she has admitted to sending explicit images to children. She also frequents a number of online children's games where she is able to request friendship and interact. So apparently this poster that we see here is one of many. This one here was actually located in Longton, which is in Stoke-on-Trent, I believe. But Elphaba has recently been spending a lot of time in Liverpool with Evil Queen. And this has prompted the following interaction. So Scouser Ali here brought the Liverpool knowledge to Tony's attention. So now he's going to Liverpool too. Maybe they might bump into each other. But speaking of public encounters, Tony here says that he's stumbled across a security guard worker who works at a club that Elphaba is familiar with.
Quick question, buddy.
Yes.
So she's known in this area a lot?
Yeah, pretty much.
She's barred from here, yeah?
She's pretty much barred from. So my company, we've got pretty much 90% of the doors in the village.
Yeah.
And we've, what do you call it, we've been told on our group chat not to let her in.
What, argumentative or?
Argumentative. Obviously recording you calling you transphobic just because you won't let her in and stuff
Also,
like that.
just any excuse to use the trans.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Okay, so in case you didn't hear, the guy that works on the door basically says they have a group chat in which they put in messages about Elphaba to make sure that she doesn't come in. I don't blame them for not wanting her in there. Someone who has a history of skin mites and drunken altercations, well, it's not the best look for any business. The stuff that she gets up to in her lives is kind of a public advertisement for a reason to blacklist you from any bar or club. And again, that's what happens when, if your life is permanently in the public, if you do any form of wrongdoing, it is documented for everyone to see. Whether you are doing it because you just want to promote your live streams, or if you are just generally a shitty person. Either way, you get the same consequences. And I'm well aware that she faces lots of transphobic abuse. If you literally just make one video on Elphaba and say she, everyone's in the comments sounding like Michael Jackson going he. But there also has been many occasions where Elphaba has tried to call someone transphobic with no reason to. So I guess in this instance, you just believe who you choose to believe. I don't really know. But after this, Elphaba became aware of the poster movement, and it's safe to say she wasn't best pleased. And this is one of two reactions, by the way, because Elphaba actually decided to pick up her phone and go live straight away, but then later on does another reaction video in which we will be looking at.
This is not okay. So I'm going out, and I'm sorting this shit out myself.
Now here we have Elphaba saying that she's going to sort the shit out herself. I do wonder what she means by that. Maybe contact someone to see what procedures she can go through. Maybe message Tony and say, hey man, I don't like what you're doing. None of that. Instead, she just wants to rip them up.
And let's go rip the fuck out of these disgusting posters.
If there's one way to say that you're not affected by the posters, I wouldn't say it's ripping them up. But I'm sort of wondering, is this part of her content strategy? Does she actually like the posters being up? She does seem like the sort of person to want to raise awareness for them because, you know, it gets people to go out and search for them, which makes her name more searched. And ultimately gives her attention. Definitely the wrong attention. Like, you could probably end up getting banned from some places because of this.
I'm not gonna let this stop me. One little measly poster. It's like the same as being on TikTok, but do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go rip them off. If you want me to sign one, let's take the piss. I'll sign one for you, bitch. I'll bring a pen out.
I believe that's called comedic timing. I literally just paused the video to be able to say that I think she wants people to collect the posters almost. She wants people to know about them, and she's genuinely using this to get her name out there more. I don't know if you think this is a good look or not, but it's really not. If you want your whole life, your whole career to be around being a creator, this is not the right way to go about it. No brand will ever want to work with you. This makes you look like the most unsuitable for advertisers person out there. But by saying you want to sign these posters, you are literally disregarding the words written on them. If you really want to deny the chatting to not very old people allegations and the faking disabilities allegations, then I'd say maybe signing your name over it. It's kind of almost mocking the scenario. Like, not kind of, it's genuinely disgusting. And I can't believe that this human still has a platform. TikTok will be very, very much aware of her presence because they make money from her. The amount of money that they make from her will definitely paper over the cracks of this crumbling wall of morality.
I can't be live. The reason why I say that is because, one, my friend doesn't want to be in it. Two, I don't want to be live because I like to take time for myself and I want to rip them down, and I'll be collecting them all. I'll be going all over Manchester. I've got money for Ubers. I'm ready, bitch.
So, you're not going, are you? What you've done here is you've planted a seed to make other people want to go and get them. You've created a hype around posters that are literally there to highlight your heinous actions. And you're bouncing around your flea-ridden room in excitement. She genuinely has a head full of air. But like I said earlier, that was part one. It gets so much worse. So much worse. She actually posted a 10-minute video on her official TikTok account addressing the whole situation. And I've seen a snippet, a very, very brief snippet, and oh my goodness, it's terrible. So let's watch it together, shall we?
Good evening, TikTok. I would like to make a video regarding the recent posters put about me.
Sorry to interrupt straight away. We're only 8 seconds in, but hashtag rip the posters down. Are we being for real? What a movement. Aren't we all so glad that this hashtag could potentially prevent other hashtags from getting the relevant exposure that they need? Because it's not like there's nothing else going on in the world that could definitely use hashtags for people to see what they can do to, you know, aid people that are kind of dying and suffering? Because no, the most important matter out there is Elphaba and some posters.
So, this week, out of all the blue, there's been people, messaging me saying that there's going to be posters put about me all over Manchester, Nottingham, London, Bristol, all the places pretty much in the UK.
All the places, guys. All the places. I am someone who doesn't live in any of those listed places. Sorry guys, this is my last video because according to Elphaba, I don't exist. But the next part is what I was showed before I started recording this video. Oh my god, the choice of language is sublime.
And I just want to raise awareness to show how harassing and stalking this is. And I want to say, please do not believe a single word that comes out of that poster's mouth.
Yes, guys, don't believe a word that comes out of a poster's mouth. Those pesky posters, they're always moving their lips up and down, yappa yappa. Obviously, I'm not mocking the claims of harassment, okay? But we are literally 30 seconds in, and this is absolute gold. One of the worst response videos ever made.
These people who want to say they're protecting children, right? I would like for you to do a DBS check yourself. And I would like to have you share that on live stream. And on top of that, if you are against gifting, then why are you earning gifts on your live stream?
DBS check, Elphaba. Wow, someone's been using Google. But personally, I've not ever known anyone to go from addressing being accused of speaking to kiddies to saying, yeah, but you earn money from your TikTok lives. What's all that about? How is that an actual thing that you've just done? That is awful. You've literally said, I don't chat to people that are young, but people send you kitchen sinks on TikTok. Honestly, just grow up.
And this is to raise awareness to TikTok Task Force, or as you know, TikTok Power Rangers, who are ruining people's mental health.
Mental health. You literally fake genuine conditions in order to profit. You cannot play the mental health card. I understand that it probably is quite stressful to see your face plastered all over posters that are just put around the country without your permission, but you do provide people with the ammunition, and therefore you kind of have no grounds to have a genuine issue with it. Maybe just like, be normal.
If I was such a threat to you, if I was such a threat to people, why haven't you reported me to the police? In result to this situation, I have ended up calling the police myself. I was on a whole hour phone call right here, talking to the police, and they will be investigating this further to these stalkers and these people who are just harassing. It is not okay.
Okay, I think we've heard this many times before in the past. And I'm sorry, but surely if it's got to the point where you now feel like you need to have genuine proof that you actually did go to the police, I just don't really buy it, to be honest. And you could have literally changed your friend's contact name to say 101. Because after your initial reaction to the posters that we watched earlier, it was to go and grab a friend and take some down, which you didn't want to show proof that you were doing. The first thing you did was mention that you were going to be with a friend, so how do we know you didn't just call that friend straight away? It does feel like the more this goes on, the more it becomes a person who cried wolf scenario. It just seems like she says, oh, I'm gonna phone the police, I'll tell the police, everyone back off, I'll call the police. But do we ever see anything happen? No. It just comes across like you do it as a scare tactic.
I wanted to come on live, do a proper, mature, calm video, because I feel like that's very important to do so. I have become so desensitized now that I'm just like, yeah, let's do this. It's just kind of like a yeah moment for me. Like, I'm so used to this kind of stuff. I hope to anyone that's watching, you understand what I'm going through.
I hope anyone who's watching cannot relate with anything that they've seen in this video. Because if you can't relate with Elphaba, well, then you need to seriously consider the things that you do in your life. And I think it was very important to include that Elphaba said that this video is going to be a mature response. Because let's be honest, when Elphaba has to respond to something, she kind of just starts talking a bit slower and tries to pronounce words, and it just doesn't really work. But it does make me very intrigued to see how this video is going to go. But also, Elphaba, if this is normal for you, that's worrying. If the clock app has made this a normal thing in your life, then you don't need the clock app. Something definitely has to change. And when I say something needs to change, I mean your behaviour. Because this is no way for someone to live their life. I genuinely suggest to you to take a step back, go away and educate yourself on the actual consequences of the things that you do. And when I say consequences, I don't mean like you getting in trouble for them. I mean the words you say, the things you do. Find out how they affect people that would, well, be affected. Not that anyone really should need to do that, because it's quite fucking obvious the stuff you do is wrong, but it clearly seems that you don't know that. And you clearly reoffend, so you clearly need to learn.
I will now be sharing your responses on this situation. And I want to say thank you so much for the support. My Green Army, my people who do support me and support my movement. And my movement is all about being yourself, standing for what's right, and not having people harass you and stalking you.
Standing for what's right? What, you mean not taking accountability? We're nearly 3 minutes into this video and you've barely addressed anything. You just want people to feel sorry for you. So far, the only thing that you've tried to stand up for is making money from TikTok. That's it. So I guess what you stand for is making money, no matter what. And your weird army of dregs seem to think the same.
Because it seems to me this force around TikTok, I have a huge platform, right? So I would never really talk about this because, you know, I'm too busy.
Too busy? She's too busy. She's too busy eating Dominoes and faking Tourette's and taking money from her fans. Such a busy lifestyle. We're actually at the 3-minute mark now in the video exactly, and she's said nothing. The only thing that she showed any form of passion for is her income.
They are now trying to ruin my life, stop me entering places, stop me doing things. If I was such a threat to the public, don't you think the police would have dealt with me by now? And it's been over 1.5 years. I have faith.
Over 1.5 years since what? I know she probably means like when she started making her content, but when you're discussing kiddie fiddling allegations, that's an interesting choice of words. But I think we're actually getting into the actual allegations part of this video now, so strap in, everybody.
Now, these allegations have been false, and I am completely innocent in the situation. If I was a Pedro, or if I was a groomer, because I can't say the actual word because I might get me banned, don't you think I would have been arrested by now by the police? It's giving LGBTQ plus hatred.
Okay, I don't think any of this has anything to do with LGBTQ+. I think it's more to do with the fact that there has been literal voice notes of you talking to a minor. Now, obviously, this isn't the only scenario, and when you were faced with the simple question of, is this you, you said, it's AI. The person then responded saying, I don't think it is. You said, I don't know, it might be AI. That has nothing to do with you being trans. That has something to do with you being called out for literally talking to a minor, and you tried to lie and then got caught up in a lie and then didn't have any sort of response. And when you get faced with questions about this, you give inconclusive answers. So obviously, people aren't just going to let it slide, because it all makes you seem very guilty, so people want to try and, you know, get to the bottom of it. And rightfully so, people don't want you to have a platform because of this. It has nothing to do with your sexuality or your sexual preferences. It's the fact that you're a wronger. She then basically just spends 1.5 minutes telling us how chill she is, but then she goes on to say something actually quite interesting.
This isn't to raise awareness. This is a personal vigilante group that just gets pissed off when people go against them.
Have you read the words on the posters? It's not going against them. It's not like you've messaged him going, oi, Tony, mate, don't like your haircut. It's about things going against children, which is very different, and I think that's also very clear. I don't get how you don't see that. That's insane. They won't feel like you came for them. Everyone knows it's the other way round. That's just such a weird thing to say, and the fact that this is most likely written down because she keeps leaning forward to, you know, stop the recording and read something and then start again. It looks like she's genuinely checking a script. So she actually would have thought before recording that this was a good thing to do. But basically then she just spends like another 2 minutes talking about how companies in her area like her and that she's even been offered to do gigs and stuff. I hope all these brands realise what they endorse when they choose to work with Elphaba. And I'll be honest, for the rest of the video she kind of just says a lot of nothing. But honestly, that was one of the worst response videos I have ever seen in my entire life. Like, this could genuinely give Colleen Ballinger a run for her money. But the thing is, Elphaba still continues to make copious amounts of money from these sort of wrongdoings. It genuinely blows my mind. But anyway guys, that is where I'm going to leave today's video. I hope you did enjoy. If you do, please do feel free to leave a like and subscribe. It's completely free and it helps me out massively. And yeah, cheers. Bye.